Should you try carnivore? That's the question that you're asking right now. And my answer is it depends. Carnivore. I feel like this diet is sweeping the nation. But I also wanted to talk to you about GLP-1 medications, because these medications like semaglutide, tirzepatide, Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro, Zepbound, now retatrutide, have also been sweeping the nation for quite some time. And what I've noticed is you have your GLP-1 enthusiasts. They're all about the medication. It's so anti-diet culture. And then you have your carnivore enthusiasts. There's a heavy anti-drug kind of persona that exists within that community. So as you can imagine, there's some hesitancy to embrace things like GLP-1 medications. In case you don't know who I am, my name is Dr. Jones. I have clinics. We have thousands of patients. We service all 50 states on these GLP-1 medications. And what I do is I've created the FLOA protocol, which is some pretty awesome structured lifestyle strategy protocols so that we can accomplish the goal of utilizing the lowest doses possible of your GLP-1 medications with powerful peptides and lifestyle. Really embracing it all together where we have that deep ancestral wisdom, but we embrace science. That's what I want you guys to get out of this. In under 10 minutes, you will understand more about carnivore from a practical standpoint than thus far, because you probably have noticed either anti-carnivore or hardcore pro-carnivore, and that's it. What about the middle ground? What about the practical and pragmatic approaches? I know a lot of you guys actually fall probably more so in the middle. So let's just dive right in. So what is carnivore? Carnivore is the dietary approach, the dietary lifestyle of consuming just animal products. And literally, meat. That's it. That's your diet. Drink water, you can add some salt, and you just eat animals, baby. That's it. Now, to do carnivore right, it really is understood that fatty red meat needs to be the basis of your diet to get enough calories and to get enough nutrition. And then there's this sort of carnivore light version, which allows for dairy, honey, and fruit, and that's it. So what's in common here is it's the anti-processed food diet, which I've always been a big fan of, reducing processed foods. But what's new to carnivore, and what makes carnivore really different than keto, there's this additional concept of vegetables being toxic. And you might not have realized, but this isn't this groundbreaking new discovery. No, we've known about this for quite some time. I'm shocked, as I've really dug in these last couple months here, to learn how long we've known this and how we just ignored it. From an ancestral viewpoint, it does make a lot of sense that plants, living organisms that can't move, would have to rely on these mechanisms to deter consumption, because animals are smart enough over time to realize if I keep eating that plant that kills me, I'm gonna stop eating it. I wanted to interrupt this show for a minute and let you guys know about the new YouTube subscription program that we have. This is direct access into the Flow Academy membership, my private community, which is hosted on Mighty Networks. If you guys want to be connected to me, if you want to have more access, the community is amazing. We have thousands of individuals who are all kicking ass right now, implementing the Flow protocol and implementing my guidance to make sure that they use these medications correctly. It's $27 a month, and you can join right now by clicking that subscription button on your YouTube page. Now, back to the show. And so the seeds, the leaves, the tubes, the stems, these are all the most toxic part, fruit being the least toxic part. I fully embrace carnivore. And I've been talking about this for, like I said, the last 2 months. I'm personally 2 months into my carnivore journey myself. And so I'm very open with my patients that I decided to do this to fuel this whole shift in my understanding. And carnivore, it's kind of crazy, right? If you're into nutrition and into health and wellness, and you think about the impacts of, the consumption of food, and you are what you eat, right? The concept of carnivore, the concept that vegetables are bad for you, is just a radical difference between, they were good for you. It's not like we're going from neutral to bad. We're going from these are essential and really good for you to now really bad for you. And I'm not here to tell you, without a doubt, all vegetables are bad. That's not where I currently stand. Although, truthfully, that's probably where I'm headed. I do think that all humans, to a certain extent, are probably being damaged and hurt from vegetables. You have to be able to take a step back and realize you're never gonna have high-level research that's gonna tell us without a doubt carnivore is the best treatment compared to pharmacological agents and yada, yada, yada. And you guys know why that is. I'm not gonna get into all that. But you have to be willing to kind of push that aside and almost try for yourself. Millions of people are speaking up now about their transformative events. Millions of people are trying this, despite how, the elephant in the room here, carnivore is challenging. Carnivore is not easy. A life where you live so restricted is very challenging. And if I'm being honest, this is why I kind of brushed it aside. I have a responsibility to our patients. I coach, and I need to coach lifestyle strategies that I think they're gonna be able to adhere to. And I just didn't think carnivore was possible. Now, has something shifted? That all of a sudden now carnivore is easy to do? No, I wish that was the case. But like anything, guys, it starts with your belief, right? It is truly an opinion and an opinion only that carnivore is challenging to adhere to. Now, of course, yes, it is easier to have a diet that allows you to eat whatever you want that's less restrictive than more restrictive. That's common sense. But whether it's impossible for you as an individual, that's your choice. And you have a lot more influence over that than you'd like to probably admit. So myself, 2 months into it, I feel fucking fantastic. I've stopped my hormone therapy. I think hormone therapy, testosterone is important unless you can find a lifestyle strategy that corrects it. But I had this funny feeling, I'm barely 2 months into it. I'm doing blood work every couple weeks here. It's been increasing from post stopping TRT. It was really low, like 250 up to 399. And I'm due here for another checkup. So I'll keep you guys posted on that. But the way I feel though is out of this world. As good as I did when I was on TRT, which is pretty amazing. So that to me sends ripples down my spine, but I'm open and willing to have this communication with you guys and my patients and say, look, should you try carnivore? That's the question that you're asking right now. My answer is it depends. What do you think about carnivore? Do you think it's crazy? Do you think it's bullshit? Do you think it's bullshit and crazy yet you still want to try because you have nothing else to try? I'll work with that. Do you actually have some agreement and understanding with the principles and that it makes sense, but you're afraid that you're not going to be able to adhere to it? I'll work with that too, because you don't need to make this like all or nothing. If I can't see myself doing it for life, don't try. Because first of all, you don't have a crystal ball. And if you did, you probably wouldn't be watching this video. Maybe you would, that'd be awesome. The bottom line is, if your symptoms improve freaking half as much as what you hear everybody talking about, which I can attest to, transformative, life-changing results to millions of people who really stick to the carnivore diet for 3 months, you don't know what's gonna happen. You don't know if you're gonna change your mind. And so you have to be willing to just see what happens. And okay, fast forward 3 months, I feel like $1 million, Dr. Jones, but I still don't wanna do this. It was so hard for me to do for 3 months, and despite feeling better, I don't wanna do it anymore. That's cool too, because guess what? The carnivore diet is just as much an elimination diet as it is anything else. In fact, it's by definition the most extreme version of an elimination diet. But there's something about it that I've done plenty of elimination diets, autoimmune, anti-inflammatory diets. But those were harder because now you have such a low amount. Yeah, you had a couple vegetables, you had a couple things you can do and more variety, but those elimination diets never really embraced fatty red meat. And I'm telling you guys, when you start eating a bunch of ribeyes and ground beef, you're full. You don't feel like you're dieting. It feels kind of gnarly. You're like, I could eat this? Now it's second nature, but I never had so many ribeyes and greasy ground full fat beef ever in my life. So that's pretty cool. But after you feel like $1 million, if you're still craving other foods and you think that you're gonna give in while maintaining this restrictive carnivore diet, then we start introducing foods. That's where I'm currently at in my coaching programs when I'm working with patients. And this is an ever evolving thing, so we'll definitely keep you guys updated. As this thing evolves, I truthfully think that, yeah, like 3 months down the road, if you still crave other foods, let's start introducing foods. We'll take the time to start introducing foods and then work towards a more sustainable plate, if you will, and variety of foods that you can adhere to. But we gotta do our work first. We gotta heal. We gotta heal the inflammatory causing, we gotta heal from the inflammatory causing foods that we've been eating for so long. And so you should try carnivore if you're excited to try something new. If you think you can do it for 3 months, but if you're not ready for carnivore, of course, we'll do keto. That's always my go-to. Keto paired up with long-term fasting. And the final thing I wanna say, guys, GLP-1 medications. Guess what they do? They reduce food chatter. Guess what else that translates to? Easier time doing carnivore, easier time making these changes. So let's make it as easy as possible for some transformative results and dive into carnivore if you've been curious. I think it's the best thing ever. Pair it up with some fasting and of course some GLP-1 medications and some amazing peptides like AOD 9604, and let's kick ass. If you guys are curious about how this program works, what the protocol looks like, click that video right there to the left. Check it out, guys, and learn more. We'll see you guys later.